Welcome to Home Fitness Workout 1. This is a 1-hour exercise routine with no rest in between the exercises or between the circuit themselves. You're going to do 2 minutes on every exercise, but for the exercises that you're going to do one side and then switch over to the other, you're going to need to make sure that you do 2 minutes on that one side before switching over to do 2 minutes on the opposing side. So some of the exercises that you're going to be doing for 4 minutes. To make sure that you hit approximately 1,000 calories within this 1-hour routine, you're going to have to make sure that you don't have any rest whatsoever when conducting all of this exercise routine itself. Complete the exercises with great form. Remember, it's about quality as well as quantity, both at the same time. So doing your best to really push your body hard, but also making sure that you're conducting exercises correctly as you get in the demonstrations in the video ahead. So let's get started. Okay, so the first exercise is going to be the front lunge with arms overhead down towards the foot. So taking hold of your dumbbells, start off position with your feet together with your arms up over your head. You're going to lunge forward, and as you lunge forward and bringing that front foot forward and bringing the knee down towards the ground, you're going to bring the arms from over your head down towards your foot. So the finishing off position should be as the front foot is forward, bringing both the dumbbells down either side of that foot before then returning all the way back up towards the top. Making sure then as we're lunging forward, then we're going to keep that weight in that front foot, preferably in the heel of the foot, and also let the back knee come all the way down as well before then returning back to the top. As we are pushing off through that front foot, make sure that we explode off that front leg, keep the pressure in that front leg rather than trying to drag the leg back. Making sure that we do this now for a period of 2 minutes on one side and then switching over by doing 2 minutes on the other. Moving on to now the plank press up. What we're going to do now is to adopt the plank position on the elbows and obviously just on the feet as well. From here, what we're then going to do is to then push our torso up from one hand and then lifting the torso up and then bringing the other hand then into play. So you finish then up in like almost like a starting off of the press up position. So you're in like a full length extended plank position. You're going to keep the stomach nice and tight all the way through, and then making sure then from the top position when you're on your hands, you then bring in your elbows back down into that elbow plank position there. Just making sure throughout the whole of this routine is you keep the weight and the pressure on the abdominals, on the torso all the way through. And then once you push off on one side, come back down on the same side and then push off then on the other side, and keep that going for the whole period of the 2 minutes. Okay, so the next exercise is going to be the sumo squat or the sumo deadlift. From this position, what we're then going to look to do is to use the dumbbells or the barbell, whichever you have regards to the equipment. And then from here, we're going to have our feet nice and wide and we're pointing out the toes around about 45-degree angle. From there, we're going to keep the back nice and straight. We're going to stick up the chest and we're going to pull the shoulders back. We're then going to bend the knees and we're going to bring the weights down in between the legs if you're holding onto dumbbells, until we can get a nice low position, bringing those dumbbells down towards the ground, keeping that back nice and straight before then returning towards the top. As you're getting towards the top, just keep making sure that you're pulling those shoulders back all the way through, sticking that chest out, and then maintaining that nice neutral spine, that nice straight spine, all the way through the whole of the 2-minute routine. So moving into the next exercise now, we're going to go into the press up. So the full press up position. From here, we're going to have our hands just slightly wider than shoulder width apart, and then we're going to go onto our toes as well, keeping that nice straight posture in the prone position, keeping the stomach nice and tight. Now, the way that we're going to do this now is to lead down towards the ground with the chest, okay, not the head. So making sure then from this position, then we've got that nice straight spine, keeping the stomach tight, and then we're going to lead the chest down towards the ground before then returning towards the top. If you do start to struggle with this one, then go for as many as you can do in the full position and then move down towards the knees, but then continue on with the same teaching points, making sure that you're leading with the chest all the way through for the whole of the period of the 2 minutes. Make sure that you keep pushing through as much as you possibly can. Okay, so the next exercise is going to be the travel lunge with shoulder press. From here, you're going to basically start in the shoulder press position with the feet together, and there's the actual hands at the shoulder position, and then you're going to lunge forward, and as you're lunging forward, you're going straight into a shoulder press at the same time. So as you're then stepping forward, you take a nice long stride forward, keeping that weight in that front foot, and then standing up and then bringing the back leg into that central position, bringing the hands down in between, and then starting the shoulder press position again as you're then lunging forward. If you don't have a runway or any room to be able to do this, then you can just simply do it from a static position by just lunging forward and then going into the shoulder press position as you lunge, and then returning back to the start position from a static point of view there. And again, if this is the case now, so you're going to do this now for a total of 4 minutes in this position. If you're doing it on the static position, do 2 minutes on one side and then 2 minutes on the other. Okay, so the final exercise now in this routine is going to be the back squat. So what we're going to look to do here is have our feet shoulder width apart, and then using the dumbbells, then you're going to bring the dumbbells either close towards your chest, or you can have the dumbbells in between your legs holding onto there, similar to what you would do with the sumo squat. Then from here, what we're looking to do is to keep the back nice and straight. We're going to stick out the chest, and then we're going to lower our hips down towards the ground, bending the knees and bringing the thighs down toward around about 90 degrees towards the ground there, before then returning towards the top. One thing you need to make sure that you do with this one is when you're returning back to the top, don't spend too much time now resting. You need to make sure once you hit the top part of the squat, you quickly return back again to that same squatting position, to making sure that you're keeping plenty of tension there on the thighs, on the quads, all the way through this whole routine, so you get the maximum out of it for the complete 2 minutes. Once you've then completed the squat, it's then making sure that you go back to the complete start of this circuit without any rest, and making sure that you can then continue on going all the way through the whole of this routine for the 1 hour without any rest.